This is an updated version of my portfolio because people keep asking, and we're also going to discuss Tether. So hi, welcome to the channel. If you are new, subscribe, bell button, comment, like, all kinds of good stuff. Now, link there, above, whatever it may be. Accredited in education, if you want to learn more about this space and why this is vitally important, you understand why certain things in the mechanism of markets are moving in such a way, please do check it out. And most importantly, if you want to contribute to the channel, join button, crack on. So ultimate question is always about Tether, what's happening with it. This is a great tweet, by the way, in terms of how it works. Now, personally, the reason why I'm in the market is because of this. Realistically, not so much Tether. It's a correlation between obviously Tether and the stimulus and how the stock market is running. Stock market bullish, Bitcoin, crypto, Tether, etc. is printing out all kinds of stuff and all kinds of highs in certain altcoins as well. That is why I'm in the market. I'm going to explain certain coins that I've got, and I'm going to go over every single asset I own. This is what I'm holding till the next year, maybe, who knows, to see what happens over the course of time. I'm ready and waiting for a move up in the market. This is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So overall, this picture paints a nice story. It's simple. When the flow of Tether increases, prints, burr, whatever, the price goes up. Now, we've known this anyways in the time. It's due to interest. What does interest bring? Speculation. What does speculation bring? Price rises. What does speculation and price rises bring? FOMO. So all that is kind of good, and in the markets that is a vitally important thing we understand. So overall, the bottom line of this speech is I'm in the market because I believe the market's going to go back up in price. Okay, I was saying that we were going to correct down to 9k. I don't quite believe that at the moment. I feel up until the elections at least, we're going to have another leg up. Whether you're a bear or not, bullish or whatever, who cares? Personally, I think the price will most likely go up in price. When you look at the correlation between that, the data is there, it's telling us exactly what's happening. So with that in mind, I think we're going to go up again. So big things coming. So let's talk about my portfolio, because over the last 3-4 weeks, I did a video on this about 3-4 months ago in terms of what I actually hold. Not really disclosed all the things that I held at that point because I was holding some little niffy naffy bits and pieces. But now, if you don't know what I did, I mentioned it a few weeks ago. I sold at 11,400 and I rebought back in literally about 4 or 5 days ago at a nice little gain, and I shuffled my pack a little bit, got some much lower orders in. One of my Polkadot orders hit at like $3.75, which is what I said in one of the videos, saying I was going to put an order in and around there. I was expecting to go even lower, but it could still go lower. It doesn't matter where it goes, but I think right now, current short-term bias in terms of up until November, December time, I think we're going to have a leg up. Whether that changes into 2021, who knows? But ultimately, price data is there. So for me, hold number one is obviously Bitcoin. I've got some Bitcoin laying around. Not a huge chunk of it, I'll be honest with you. I'm quite exposed in altcoins because the risk reward is in altcoins. I'm kind of happy with that. It's kind of how I play the game. Ultimately though, if you're new in crypto, try and look to buy Bitcoin as low as you can. Buying it right now, personally, I think it's a waste. I think there's good opportunity in the market to make money in altcoins, especially in certain undervalued things, and we're going to talk about those in a bit. So first hold is obviously Bitcoin. Now I'm going to start it off in a weird kind of way. I'm going to go from high cap down to the low cap. So we're going to basically scroll down. We're going to go down with it. So the next hold that I have, whether you disagree or not, is XRP. So XRP, for me, due to the regulation coming in the next few years, we know it's going to happen. XRP is the one that's the most positioned for regulation and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, I don't care. Comment, people, fight, whatever. I hold some, not loads. It's one of my smallest holds, XRP. It's a risk bag. I understand the risks of it. I've got some just in case. I have an inkling and a feeling that it will probably do whatever the hell it wants. Anyways, we know what it's like. So for me, I hold a little bit. Simple as that. The next one of my bigger holds is Polkadot. As I said, I've got a nice order in around $3.70 levels. Really nice order. I wasn't expecting to get it filled, and it happened. Ultimately, this has put me into a nice little position where I was. I was at average buy-in about $4.80 up to $5.80. I sold part of that bag at around $6, and then I rebought back low. Got a nice little chunk now at a much better value. I do feel that if the market turns and this goes a little bit like quiet in terms of hype going down, I think this will go down in price. But ultimately, I think long term, as in 3 to 5 years, this, in my opinion, is an absolute behemoth in terms of an absolute ecosystem. So definitely going to challenge some prestige numbers, in my opinion, at the top levels, top table. So yeah, Polkadot, relatively good, in my opinion. I like it. The next hold, Crypto.com, Crowcoin. Now, it's only a small bag. It's to enable usage of my card, but ultimately, I like the stake inside of it, so I'll stake a little bit, not much, but ultimately, it's a hold anyway, so yeah, simple. The next biggish hold that I've got is Cardano. As I say, I'm looking at adoption, I'm looking at use case, I'm looking at things that have actually proven over a test of time that they are developing. I do not go for many risk bags. You'll probably understand that and see that in my portfolio backing. Ultimately, I think that this has got the minerals to do incredibly well long term. I think it's going to be quite steady. I think it's going to be quite a slow grower, but it's kind of coming from that ilk of the stock market world where you want something that isn't going to be speculative and go to the moon and break, or most importantly, go to the moon and wreck people. We want things to be nice and steady, and Cardano ticks that box for me. Moving on into the next part of this is obviously Tezos is another one that I hold. Now, let me just clarify, I hold a small bag, and this is a kind of bag that I hold with my missus, right? Simple as that. She picked it, we're backing it, we're staking it. Simple as that. Staking about, 6%, I think, in terms of delegation. So this is a nice little one. It sits on the ledger, 6%, churns up some nice little returns. Got it at a very, very low price as well. Got it lower than what it is right now in terms of the dip. We've been buying from like $3 all the way down to like $2. So we're in a nice little position here. Personally, I think Tezos will do well long term. I think it has minerals to at least be a double or maybe triple the price in terms of what it actually gives in terms of the market. So I'm pretty excited about in terms of like their smart contracts, how they're actually doing it. But the staking rewards is actually one of the most easiest to do and very, very good reward. So that's mainly the reason why. It was either that or a few others, and I was like, we wanted a staking coin together, weirdly discussing crypto with the missus, but we wanted something that you could stake that was relatively easy and no real hassle, and we thought, well, Tezos actually ticks a box on quite a lot of those things, so definitely worth looking at. Now, down the tree we go. Next one is VeChain. Most people who know my channel will know that I like VeChain, and mainly the use case to the logistical side, the fact that they're trying to counter the world of counterfeiting markets, which is worth billions these days. But ultimately, partnerships are good, really, really good long-term vibes with this in terms of what it's got. It's been around for a while. Ultimately, it's done very, very well over the last few months. But as I say, it is a long-term hold. It's something that I think that it's got, as I say, similar sort of ilk to Cardano. A long-term project, nice and steady, doesn't really do stupid things and doesn't really dump massively. So it's quite good, quite stable, and that is always good to know. So that is quite a few done. Moving down the tree even more. Now, as I'm strolling down, you're probably noticing I'm going past quite a few coins that you probably hold anyways. You're probably thinking, what? You don't hold that? Oh, I no longer hold Kyber Network. The reason being, I will explain. Ethereum fees killed it. Not worth it. Not worth staking it. Not worth doing the delegation for. Not really interested in it anymore. It's unusable on Ethereum. Simple as that. Whether you agree with me or not, well, that over the last 4 weeks in terms of using it, dog shit in terms of Ethereum. The next one is obviously my main hold. We know this is my biggest altcoin holding. In terms of value, this could be worth a chunk. Now, we know roughly staking will be about 8% per year. It would be quite good to get that on board, running, rolling. So Zilliqa is one that, as we're going further down the tree, as you can see, quite exciting in terms of like potential reward here. So this is where we're going down the tree. Risk, reward, all kinds of good stuff. Remember your research. Remember what you're getting out of it in terms of this. Personally, I think this will rival a few big ecosystems. I think enterprise solutions are pretty good. I think this will take a big chunk out of a few of them. I think this is very much undervalued. I personally see this, in my honest opinion, close to $1 billion in a bull run. Very, very close. Probably a lot higher, to be fair, if it is a crazy bull run like last time. It's already been a lot higher. It's already been at it already has been over $1 billion. So you got to think those all-time highs back in May 2018. Bear market, remember. So personally, if it gets up there again, it's literally a 10x, maybe a 9x, give or take. But ultimately, for me, I'm backing it. I like it a lot, and I don't have to explain much more on Zilliqa. Now, we're going on to the next page now. We're finding other little gemmy bits and pieces that I'm probably thinking, well, what have I got? Well, the next one is kind of the obvious one. If you've been watching a few of my videos recently, is Utrust. Finally got back in. Finally. So I rate this a lot. The reason why payments, obviously buyer protection and that adoption work, getting people in and using the world of cryptocurrencies. Now, a few of the comments that I got on some of my videos regarding this was really funny. Why would you spend cryptocurrency was literally a common question. But the word currency there is in the title. These are coins. A lot of these are designed for spending, and this is a use case to allow spending. We fail if no one's going to use it as a payment mechanism. If we're not going to use the likes of, say, XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin, whatever, as a currency, it fails. In my opinion, it fails, because that is the whole purpose of it. It wasn't to create wealth in terms of buy and hold and hope it goes in price. It doesn't fucking work if you don't spend it, does it? There's no transactional value. There's no medium of exchange. If you go and read the white paper of Bitcoin, that's what it's all about. It's all about payment mechanism without third-party interference on a blockchain, transparent and pure. Simple as that, right? What's the point of being, we're just buying and holding? These are not companies. These are currencies. They go up in price due to utility and use case and speculation. That's the whole point of it. So, had to get that off my chest. Ultimately, though, Utrust gives you buyer protection. It gives you a much bigger variety for merchants to actually use it across the world, online, offline, all kinds of good stuff. Now, for me, personally, I rate it a lot. This is the best system out there by far, in my opinion, right now. Mega partnerships, mega like influence around the world as well in terms of who's in charge. That's why I rate it. I think that this will do very well. I've actually got a buy order in, and I got in at 11 cents, which is quite good. Bear in mind, I wanted to get in a lot earlier, but I kind of missed the boat on it. I did hold it at ICO back in 2017. It was my first ICO I actually got into, and then I sold it for a decent profit. Left it alone for a while with the bear market, and I was focusing on other things, and ultimately back on the radar, and they've done some great bits and pieces, and I think it will do very well long term. Now, moving down the tree. Now, this is pretty much my last real holding as an investment, okay? Now, this is the risk bag. This, in my opinion, is a risk bag. Now, the reason why this is a risk bag, now, some people commented on this going, oh my God, why are you picking this? Why are you doing that? For me, if we're going down the regulation route, if we're going down the fact of US volume coming into the market, this will be one of the places people will be buying cryptocurrency in America, Canada, and around the world. These are going for regulation bodies to be regulated in certain states in America to allow it to be one of the biggest brokers in the US. Now, if you go on the website, it's obvious of who's in charge of this website. If you've never had an inkling or a look at what this is and who's backing it, you should. One, it's a publicly backed company. Two, it has ties to Uber. And three, it has ties to E-Trade and multiple other agencies such as Circle. They are big, big things. Now, they've obviously were Ethos totally changed. They've just done a private fundraiser with private investors, have raised a load of money to go to their next step. But what they are looking to do right now is get regulation, bodies and approval in and around America to become the biggest broker in the US. Now, even if it fails at that mission to become the biggest broker in the US, it's a way of people buying and investing in cryptocurrency in the US without any issues. That's a perfect side of it. The biggest question that I always get on my channel is, when can I buy? What can I buy? How do I buy in America, right? It's crazy in terms of that in 2020. So for me, I'm back in Voyager. The team's totally different. It's nothing to do with the likes of Ethos anymore. It is an absolute beast sitting there, in my opinion. Look at the supply. The supply, in my opinion, very, very small. Decent chunk of that could change. Now, in terms of markets as well, it's only realistically on Binance, and that's it. Like, this could realistically go onto some massive exchanges over the next coming months. But as I say here, it's a broker token created by one of the co-founders of Uber and executives of E-Star Trade. So, big companies there, big, massive fundamentals there. It's obviously risky, obviously, we can see that. But for me, personally, if this does take off, it could be very, very exciting. So, that is pretty much my portfolio. That is what I've got. Whether you like it or not is another thing. Whether you copy or not, I'm not a financial advisor. These are my personal bags. My risk appetite is different to yours. If they do shit, I will get rid of them. I will replace them, whatever. But I'm looking to hold for the long term into 2021. So we'll see what happens over the next coming months. And yeah, have a good one.